One look in your eyes, and there I see what you really mean to me. Look into your own eyes. Look into yourself. Welcome to another Numerovational Fly By for July 28th, 2021. And today I was watching Brother E.T., Eric Thomas. And I'm in my 7th personal day. When I added all my numbers, the vibration of the day for me personally is a number 7. And Eric Thomas said something very key, and it triggered something for me to really think, and I want all of you to start thinking. Eric Thomas said, who is the authentic Eric? And that made me go, Who is the authentic you? Who is the authentic me? And I had to really look at that. 54 years in, 54 years young at this time. And I had to look at myself again and say, who is the authentic me? And I wrote down on a book, I said, video, they said the video's paused, but again, finding the authentic you is very important. And living your own truth is very important. And I'm saying this for a reason. Because in my life, I've had many, many names. In the entertainment world, in the religious world, the conscious world, I've had many, many names. But I really had to look at the authentic name or the authentic me, that particular name that I chose to come through and accept from my mother's womb and my father's gonads. They gave me Tyrone Anthony Brown. And as I've said before, that I never liked the name Tyrone. Anthony I always gravitated to, but I found that very interesting because numerology helped me to find the authentic use of each name that I have. So finding an authentic me, I had to go back into time and remember what name was given to me that my mother and my father agreed upon. It wasn't just my mother, it wasn't just my father. Both of them agreed on that name, Tyrone Anthony Brown. The name Simon is actually a business name, but I received that Simon under the auspices of watching television shows like The Saint, featuring Roger Moore back in those days. Everybody know who Roger Moore was. He was one of the James Bond in history, but he also played Simon Templar. And he spelled his Templar Templar. I spelled Templar Templer because I wanted the root word of temple to be in the mix of Simon and temple. And what's so interesting, Simon is a Hebrew word that means to listen, to hear. And the name Simon and Templar, or Templar, not Templar, not the A-R, the E-R. The root of it was temple. So listen or hear from the temple, or learn to hear from within the temple. So I guided myself to that name in the reggae business as I was performing and as I was doing radio. So in entertainment, the business name is Simon Templer, Templer. The production name is King Simon Production. So Simon is not an authentic name as far as what I was born with. King Simon is not an authentic name of which I was born with. I was born with Tyrone Anthony Brown. And mathematically, under numerology, the name Tyrone resonates more with my mother and father's energy than it did with me, because they were the ones that agreed on the contract to give me that name. And I understand, because Tyrone in a certain system of numerology adds up to the number 24, which is a 6. And both my mother and my father are born connected to the vibration of the number 6. One is a Libra, my father, and one is a Taurus. And in astronumerology, the Taurus and the Libra resonate with the energy of the 6 energy. So both of them in their loving energy. Although I don't like the name Tyrone, or let me not say I don't like the name Tyrone, it just never vibed with me personally. Anthony did, because Anthony adds up to the number 1, 28 in one system of numerology, or 19 in one system of numerology, which adds up to a number 1. And I'm born on the 1st of February. So the personality of Anthony, that's why my first song that I ever done, and that was reached the chart back in 1989, I was under the name Anthony Brown. Just showing you what's my authentic self, especially working through the names, because we all have an authentic self, and the name that we chose, I don't care, the name that we chose is the one that our mother and father gave us. And I am so sure through the numbers that whatever name you chose resonates with someone in your family, either your mom's side or your dad's side, or maybe both sides. So years ago when Lloyd read my first name, he said either your mom or your dad was born on the 6th or the 15th or the 24th of the month. And then he said, or they were born under the sign of Libra or Taurus. That's what Lloyd said to me back in the 80s. And I was like, whoa, Lloyd is good at that. Lloyd is good at shocking you with numbers back in the day, and he's still one of the best, I would say, in astronumerology, or the best in astronumerology today. I'm a numerovator. So, Eric Thomas said, who is the authentic Eric? And I had to come on, I looked in the mirror and I started crying. I was upstairs in my friend's house crying, because I've had so many names and so much personas over the years. Even my friend that I'm with now, she know I've had so many names. I've been through so many personas. Simon Templer, Smiley, Abdil, Shadi, Muhammad, Aswad, Smiley Manjaro. I named myself all kinds of names to get away from my authentic self, so I was covering myself with the names. Yes, and sometimes we do that. We're covering our names right now on social media. If we're honest with ourselves, we're covering our names right now through social media. Your name is not your name on social media. And Brother Eric Thomas said, who is the authentic me? Who was the authentic me? And when he found his authentic him, he became the greater Eric. He became his greatest cheerleader. He became his greatest motivator and speaker in the world today, Eric Thomas, when he found his authentic him. My goal, through the means of numerovation and numerology, is to help you, but also more so help myself find my authentic me. I'm not afraid of the name Tyrone, although Tyrone throughout history became crackheads, and Tyrone is, I'm Tyrone and I'm beating everybody up, that big Tyrone. Then you got Tyrone with Dave Chappelle eating doo-doo, and you got Erykah Badu, she gonna call Tyrone to move her man out, so he's the moving man, because she wasn't calling him to take his place, she was calling Tyrone to get that Negro out of her house, because whatever happened. So Tyrone became synonymous of misunderstandings throughout life. So it's all good. But that's why, although I didn't understand the numbers back then, I didn't understand why I didn't like Tyrone. But it's the frequency of the name Tyrone I didn't like, because, or I wasn't connected to, because remember I said the name Tyrone adds up to the number 6. And in numerology, my challenge number, or one of my challenge numbers, is the number 6. My mother and father didn't know that. I thought, as I grew up and found out that my mother used to like Nat King Cole, I thought she would have named me Nathaniel. But I guess my father didn't. My father did give me his middle name, which is Anthony. Like most Jamaicans, they give their middle name, Jamaican boys, they got their middle name Anthony. Beanie Man is Moses Anthony Davis. Then you got Pat Anthony. You got different people, especially in Caribbean. They love that name Anthony for some reason. So I use Anthony Brown a lot more than I use Tyrone Anthony Brown. But now I know how to use the name Tyrone. That's why when you set up a session for me and I send you my PayPal, you'll see either Tyrone Anthony Brown or you'll see T Anthony Brown, because that Tyrone represents dealing with family, finding balance, also spiritual understanding in another system of numerology. Anthony deals with leadership and business and the need to be creative, which is connected to my birth date, because Anthony adds up to a number 1 in one system, then adds up to a number 7 in another system. So I use them concurrently to work with each other to help me move forward and navigate, because remember, your name reveals your gifts, your talents, your skills, and those that can be attracted to you, whether it's parents or grandparents. If you're named by your grandparents, usually you have a name or an energy or a number that is connected to your grandparents. Or if your aunt or your uncle gave you the name, usually you have that connection to that aunt or uncle. Or somebody outside of the family, a good friend may have named you. All of a sudden you find out that you don't have similar numbers like your mother or father, but somebody in your direct connection has the name or has the numbers that are connected to you. So when I do sessions, although we may choose these multitudes of spiritual names or conscious names and become Amen Ra, Sutek, and or Young Pharaoh and God Allah, whatever you're choosing, you're never going to get away from the name that you chose when you came through that womb, or the agreement that was signed by your parents to give you that name. Because at that time, whether they was conscious or spiritual or whatever, at that time, that's the mindset they were in. That's why most of my children, if not all of my children, have spiritual, meaningful names. Now, I'm not going to say Tyrone don't mean something, because in Greek and in different languages, it does mean something. Anthony means something. Brown means something other than the color. But mathematically, through numbers, I found out that it mathematically connects with my family in some form or fashion. And the names, because first name can be changed with the middle name sometimes, and many people have done that. I've changed my middle name and put it as my first name because, again, my middle name resonated with my birth date. As I said, I'm born February the 1st, and the name Anthony adds up to the number 1. Now, Simon, a name that I chose while watching a television show called Simon Templar or The Saint back in 1981. 82, I chose that name because I thought it was cool. I was sitting with my girlfriend. I think I was 15. She was like 14. I was sitting in my girlfriend's house and we chilling, watching. I was 16. Yeah, I was about 14 going on 16 and all that. 15 going on 16. And she was a year younger than me. Sitting in my girlfriend's house late at night because Simon Templar used to come on around 2 in the morning. We there, chilling. Pops don't even know I'm in the house. He was knocked out wherever he was. Don't even know that. And this is the big up to my old friend, Carla. Yeah, Carla, you was one of the ones that, Carlotta, you was one of the ones that inspired me with that name. So just by sitting on your couch and we was watching The Saint with Roger Moore. So yeah, so big up to Carlotta. She's born, I'm so surprised I remember her birthday. She's born May the 30th. I can't forget that birthday. She was the one I was sitting on the couch when my name, Simon, came out to play. So I've had Simon for over 25 years, so I really have it legally binded with me, common law. So I've had, for over 25 years, I've had that name Simon, which is crazy. So, again, Eric Thomas said, find your authentic you. Who is your authentic you? And your authentic you is found in your name. And whatever name you choose just adds extra energy to it. But you better make sure whatever name you choose, just make sure that it vibratorily connects to your birthday and it can find a even keel with your name that you already had on your birth certificate. Because like Lloyd always quote William Shakespeare, what's in a name? When he was asked what's in a name, William Shakespeare would say everything is in a name. So you got to be very careful of the names you choose, because some names can bring you higher vibrations and take you up to another level. And some names can bring you down to another level and bring other vibrations to you. So that's why it's important to make sure the mathematics of your first name that you were born with resonates, and the spiritual name that you are chosen or was given, make sure it resonates with your birth name and your power numbers and your most favorable numbers, and not your challenge number, because people can take on challenge numbers, challenge names, and be a challenge throughout their whole life and wondering why they've been challenged throughout their whole life. And I'm not saying that challenges are bad. Sometimes challenges are here to challenge you to be your best or your worst. People in many relationships I've had, some women came to challenge me to be my best. Some women came to challenge me to be my worst. Am I angry at that? No, those were the lessons and the blessings. Matter of fact, I just seen one of my children's mother on the line. Big up to her. What up? She said, morning. What's up, girl? So respect to her. She could have been she was either a challenge for my better or my worse. But I can actually say, because she's Aquarius like me, we challenge each other for our best or our worst. And that's just what it was. And plus, she's born under that number 9 energy. And 9 is one of my power numbers. So that's why we're good friends and laugh a lot and cackle a lot up to this day. So big up to all of you that found people that have challenged you to be your best or challenged you to be your worst. But yet, again, your name should connect and resonate with your personal number, at least your life path, your alignment number. It should at least align with all those names so it could be of better service to you, because numerology is just a GPS. You put in the right number, like you put in your GPS, you put that address with a number on it. It triangulates what's going on into the area all the way to where you get into, whether you're coming from New York all the way Georgia. It's triangulating what's going on in the whole navigational system to give you guidance. So numerology, or the study of numbers, is like a GPS to triangulate. Yes, you're going to have obstructions to your life. Yes, you're going to have challenges in your life. Yes, you're going to have death and birth and all that in your life. But numerology and astrology and these modalities that they tell you to run away from are, let me say that again, numerology, astrology, tarot, and all of those things that religious people have told you to run away from is not to be worshipped. There are guiding mechanisms, apparatuses to give you guidance so you can move through life. And like Lloyd Strayhorn would say, be in the right place at the right time. Because the world is cycles. We see cycles and patterns in nature. We see summer, we see winter, we see fall, we see spring. The universe is in cycles. That's why when you look up in the stars, you'll still see if you lay down on the floor, and I've done that numerous times, I see the planet spinning. I'm spinning with it because it's a cycle. It's a clock. And we got to pay attention to our mathematical clock. We got to pay attention to our nature's clock. We got to pay attention to the family clock, the DNA clock. Everything, even the blood is cycling throughout your system to clean and purify, and then pump it through the heart to purify the blood and send it through, send all the bad stuff and let out the good stuff. Breathing is a cycle. We inhale good air, exhale the bad air. It's a cycle. So everything is cycle. You can't fight it. You can't negate it. So your mathematics connected to your numbers is here to help you cycle through life and stay on your GPS to be the best representative of who you are and what you can accomplish here on earth, whether you use it or not. I tell people numbers don't require you to believe in it. We don't require. It's working behind the scenes whether you believe it or not. It's working behind the scenes. We're on a computer that's using 010001. That's what the phones are all about. In numerology, we see 01. We start seeing male, female, male, female. That's balance. We start seeing the yin and yang, so you can't take away the balance. I don't care if there's two men trying to get together or two women trying to get together. You can't take away the balance. Because every one of them came through that same way, the male and the female. Even if you're a test tube, they use an ovum and sperm, male and female. They can't take away the balance. You still have to go back to the basics of human life. I don't care what you call yourself. You could be a tranny. You could be a new type of entity. I'm telling you, you still have to go through the duality of the two to make the one. The male and the female, the masculine and feminine. And this has been taught throughout eons and antiquity in our great history of African and indigenous and Moorish and all the great history people of our ancestry. So once again, finally, like Eric Thomas says, and I watched him this morning, he's born September the 3rd. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. As a number 3, that oratory skill, that expansion skill, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. So think about it. Like Eric Thomas said, check him out. I was watching Reverend Ike also. Whew. Les Brown, Lisa Nichols. Oh, I study people because that's a part of my numerovational study. I study motivational speakers to implement their talents and their skills to what I'm doing so I can give you a better session when you do a consultation, because I don't do readings. I'm here to help you maximize your numbers. I'm here to help you activate your numbers. Whether you use it or not, I'm going to do my job. It's really up to you whether you do your job. I learned that the hard way many years ago. Don't run away from your authentic self. And like Bob Marley used to say, You're running and you're running and you're running away. You're running and you're running and you're running away. You're running and you're running and you're running away. But you can't run away from yourself. You can't run away from yourself. You can't run away from yourself. You can't run into any religion and anything you want to run into. You can change your name a million times. I've changed my name at least 10 times. But I still can't run away from who I am authentically. So, like Eric Thomas said, find your authentic you. And I'm imploring all of you to do that. No matter how long it takes, you're still alive. As long as you're still alive, you still got a testimony to write. Teach your children to find their authentic self. Because in your authentic self is where you find your gifts, your talents, and your skills, your personality, your destiny, and your life path, and your alignment to what you're supposed to do. So please, find your authentic self. This has been another Numerovational Fly By right here on King Simon Production. Make sure you go to my link tree, hit me up on YouTube. I got a great interview tonight, releasing and rewriting history through art and music with Sister Rumi. She's going to be in Anket Rumi will be on with me tonight at 7 o'clock on YouTube at King Simon Presents. And more likely the Ministry of Numerovation. So find your authentic self. Really write it down. Like I did this morning. I had to start writing down all these names was not authentically Tyrone Anthony Brown. I added them throughout my years, just like your family may add on certain things throughout the years. Be your authentic self. I chose Anthony because Anthony resonated with me mathematically. Tyrone was more of my challenge. But I had to learn to run to Tyrone because I had to overcome that challenge of family and what has happened in my family and all the problems and issues of the family. I had to learn to run to it, and I'm still running to it so I can resolve it, so I can be a better representation for my own children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, because we are in this day and time to break cycles. And if you're not willing to break a cycle by being your authentic self, then you're not being true to your family, you're not being true to yourself, you're not being true to your loved ones, you're not being true to your mate. Stop it. Get rid of that negative ego and start rising up to the higher authentic ego of who you are, expanding God's originality and leave etching God out. See, there's two sides to ego. There's nothing wrong with being an ego. There's a negative side of ego and there's a positive side of ego. Which one are you going to develop and make yourself better? Us. Hotep. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Iri. Islam. To all you family members out there that was tuning in, please share this, and like this. Be your authentic self. Check out Eric Thomas. He broke that down very eloquently. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Peace.